Well, hello. I'm Pratik Manakonda. And essentially, yeah, I took a break from editing. I don't know how long it's been. I really don't, maybe 4 hours or something. But yeah, without the outlet right now of live streaming, I really have no desire to finish editing this. But yeah, just things have really been falling into place in terms of getting productive things done, and I'm really happy about that. So, like, it's 12 a.m., 4th of July now. 12 a.m. I could rest, sleep, and just unwind, do nothing. But it's like, I'd rather push myself. And so I'm holding myself accountable by filming it right now because, yeah, I don't want to just sit around, do nothing, just kind of sit in my comfort zone, I guess. Even though I did get a lot of work already done. Yeah, let's do some more. So, yeah, I was resting since the last live stream, which was about 20 minutes of work. And yeah, remember if you saw that, I just pretty much just jumped into it, even if I wasn't really feeling it. I just jumped into it. So still should eat some dinner. Mm. 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 Let me try to talk a little bit about stuff tonight. Like I said, after the editing that I was doing for about 20 minutes, then I was doing a little bit of research, last minute research, and then I was doing some just enjoying after taking about 4 hits of that card. I was enjoying watching some Laurel Hardy moments. Pretty funny. Pretty damn funny. Like, there's a fire in their room and they have this ladder mishap and driving around mishap. Laurel Hardy, pretty damn funny for 1910s to 30s. And so, yeah, I have a good amount of stuff to watch after I finish this. Queued up, mainly old Chaplin and Laurel Hardy and Buster Keaton and Fatty Arbuckle, Roscoe Fatty Arbuckle. I love the way this pink looks kind of red. I love that it looks kind of red. All right, anyway. So yeah, getting this done, and I know I have to do some more overlying edits over it. So fucking yeah, let's literally start this timer and jump right the fuck in. Sure. And these are defining character moments, like when Drake skips his gig to go help Josh babysit. When Drake helps Josh impress his crush by helping him play guitar. By faking playing guitar hands. Buys Josh back the by faking playing guitar hands back the guitar. When Drake buys Josh back the guitar that Josh accidentally broke. When Drake takes the fall for Josh's movie job bad idea. Great shit, man. I don't know why I procrastinate. And when Drake pays his grandma back the bail money after he got arrested. When Drake pays his grandma back the fine after he got arrested. A lot of good misdirection, like Drake on the phone with a girl while Josh is on the phone with his grandmother. Most of the time, the characters react how normal people would. Like Drake's number one fan, when Drake has a radio gig, he knows he has the right gig. He has the right to stand up for himself when this girl is getting a little too. When this girl is kind of stand up for himself. When this girl is kind of crossing his boundaries a little, being a bit on, she's eating food, and Drake kind of crossing his boundaries a little. Commenting on his date, how she's eating too much food, and Drake agrees. Drake skips his radio appearance, but Drake skips his radio appearance and goes to sing to her. Josh getting over his fear. Kind of like Josh getting over his fear to help his brother in Blues Brothers. I just love everything that came up to this point and what would come later in the show. And this is the height of season 3 to me, Drake and Josh in. Of season 3 to me. Ah! There's something in my hair! Ah! There's something in... Ah! There's something in my hair! Alan thinks Josh wants to bark. I just love everything that came up to this point and what would come later in the show. And this is the height of season 3 to me, Drake and Josh in. Josh in. I really like how at the end of season 4, Jimmy is considered insincere after his reinstatement hearing, and he references a court case. Something about how witness accounts in court are the only evidence permissible. And then Jimmy references his relationship with Chuck, and suddenly he feels like he just broke the Matrix, where everything is as. And that's probably why he's so on board with going out of his way to pull elaborate schemes. The events leading up to Howard Hamlin's death really makes you question. Breaking Bad also does a great job making you question why certain things happen. Like Lalo's trigger happy, the wrong place at the wrong moment. Howard said he was going to expose Kim and Jimmy. That might be what Lalo heard and set him off. And even what led up to Ignacio Jimmy, that would be expose Kim and Jimmy. That might be what Lalo heard and set him off. And even what led up to Ignacio's death. Such unique characters, and that's so hard to do. And the opening shot in season 6, episode 3, is one of my favorite opening shots of all time. It's a tracking dolly shot in the desert, and then it starts to rain, and then it zooms in a flower. I love how the show doesn't try too hard to be innovative. It stays very traditional to things like macro close-ups in filmmaking, especially to things like macro close-ups in filmmaking. I love how it made climate Albuquerque look a lot less underlyingly depressing, but you see what led up to the climate up to how it was depicted in Breaking Bad. Up to how it led up to the climate to how it was depicted in Breaking Bad. Gus knows that he needs a soldier in Mike, and I love the way you see the way Mike is a little bit way more cold. Because if you notice in Breaking Bad, Mike is actually relatively a little bit more cheerful than he is in Better Call Saul. The scenes with Jimmy and his amateur student film crew really, to me, symbolize the sort of false advertising in television. And I love the way the sort of copyright cowboy symbol for Mesa Verde comes back to help in favor of Kid and Jimmy in that season's arc. Lalo showing off Gus's meth lab and then humming the 2001 Space Odyssey type of music, dedicating a whole season arc to the building of the meth lab was just absolutely such a good call. The Gene Takovic timeline does a great job with its depressing nature, really feeling distinct from the events of after Ozymandias and Felina. And now, personally, I think Saul got an unfair sentence. I personally think that, yes, you have to sympathize with the fact that Walter and Jesse kidnapped him. Saul was not going to initially take the bribe. I think we need to take that into account. He was a willing participant. But I think 86 years is a bit unfair. I do think he has a good chance of parole. I absolutely love that line. Walter White could not have done it without me. Kim's breakdown on the bus with black hair makes me want to cry almost. And when Saul's going to jail, the bus chant makes me want to cry a little. And yeah, just like Hank Schrader and Walter White, Saul Goodman, Jimmy McGill is just really good at his job as a lawyer. The way Mike takes charge, like, okay, here's what's gonna happen. That's low-key Mike's catchphrase. Telling Jimmy to spill the coffee on the other detectives and Jimmy doesn't want to do it. But then when Jimmy learns that something shady might have happened to Mike's son, he decides to help him. And so I really don't see too much of a difference more between Saul Goodman and Jimmy McGill. You do see a big distinction between the Takovic timeline, and I love watching the Nippy episode. I love watching the Nippy episode more than the Breaking Bad episode, but I really appreciate the 3 flashbacks in the Breaking Bad episode. The match cut from seeing Saul first walk up to Walter's high school, taking the opportunity, to him breaking into people's houses in black and white. So yeah, I really hope this isn't the end to the Breaking Bad universe. I really hope there's other spin-offs. I love how we see that Saul kind of loses his reputation with the other lawyers after he helps free Lalo. This was the transition between Jimmy and Saul, that he became a bad criminal lawyer. But he gave Walt some great advice, like make hay while the sun is still shining. Only problems are I feel like there's a lot of toothbrush scenes. Am I wrong? Really built on its cynical nature, but the characters were more exaggerated on Drake and Josh, I think. I saw a YouTube comment that said Better Call Saul is really a love story, and that's just such a nice way to think about it. Walt explaining to Jimmy how time travel isn't real, it breaks the second law of thermodynamics. It's so in character with who these people are. I love the way there feels like there's like these people. Like iCarly built on its cynical nature. I love the way there feels like there's a different version of Josh in each of the 4 seasons. By season 3, you definitely see some of Drake's coolness rubbing off on Josh. Josh's not happy with all these guests. Drake loves it. Hey, Unky, I bought my sissies. Then someone breaks Drake's guitar, and now Drake wants everyone out of there. Josh rushes to go tell Helen. Helen does not think it's her place to intervene as his boss. But then when Helen hears that Drake's in trouble, she goes and rushes by. She goes and rushes to save him. But when MTV starts broadcasting and singing, and this cutaway transition B-roll here of Helen dancing is so me in a crowd of dancing people. Megan comes in and helps by bringing in fake toxic gas to plunge into the vents. I think the reason I love this episode so much is because it feels like a satisfying way for the main characters to get away with what they did. Like in the other episodes, they either don't get away with it. A lot of the times, the endings are mean spirited or feel a little tacked on. But in this one, Drake, Josh, Megan pretty much get away with it. That is until the last second, until their parents get arrested. But in my book, they pretty much got away with it. And as a season opener, like I know I have pink hair in reference to the bet, but I think this is the strongest because season 3 feels a little bit of the purest, where the characters are having the most fun in their dynamic. I still agree that season 4 is the best. I wonder if this was filmed around the time of the Drake and Josh movie, maybe a few months earlier in the year. But if you notice, the movie has background vocal versions of the Drake and Josh theme song. And these are defining character moments, like when Drake skips his gig to go help Josh babysit, when Drake helps Josh impress his crush by helping him play guitar, when Drake buys Josh back the guitar that Josh accidentally broke, when Drake takes the fall for Josh's movie job bad idea, and when Drake pays his grandma back the fine after he got arrested. A lot of good misdirection, like Drake on the phone with a girl while Josh is on the phone with his grandmother. And yeah, most of the time the characters react how normal people would. Like Drake's #1 fan when Drake has a radio gig. He has the right to stand up for himself when this girl is kind of crossing his boundaries a little, commenting on his date, how she's eating too much food, and Drake agrees. But Drake skips his radio appearance and goes to sing to her. Kind of like Josh getting over his fear to help his brother in Blues Brothers. I just love everything that came up to this point and what would come later in the show. And this is the height of season 3 to me. Hi, I'm Philippe Manaka. Okay, I'm gonna practice saying the last line for the outro, as you guys heard me edit there. That took about what, 16 minutes of editing, and I'm done editing this episode. No, I'm not done editing. I still have to put the B-roll over it and add the TV fights intro. And then yeah, so right now just about to film the outro, the final wrap-up thoughts. I do have to use the bathroom real quick. Then I'm gonna pack a bowl and I'm gonna attempt to film my try not to laugh video. Yeah, should be really fun. See you guys in a second. Yeah, we are gonna take a couple minutes break here, guys, as I use the bathroom real quick and pack a bowl, and then get myself ready to film this outro and film this try not to laugh, and then edit this B-roll, and then straight after that, go ahead do research for episode 8 of TV Fights as I upload these two videos. Stay tuned. I did not use the bathroom yet. I just changed the light bulb. So let me just take this to where I charge this iPad. Uh, keep you here. Let's get it. I'm back. Okay. About to record the new thing, the outro. I have my wrap up thoughts. Okay. So, which episode do I like better? Both are some of my favorites of this series and exude great showmanship. Because the character arcs. Because the character arcs are very strong. Better Call Saul has very strong character maps. The character maps for Kim's lawfulness and Nacho. The character maps from Kim's lawfulness to Nacho's arc are really strong. Are really strong. Strong. The deliberate flashbacks. Incredible. So low key. The deliberate use of flashbacks was amazing. The deliberate flashbacks were amazing. The deliberate flashbacks were amazing. Like Jimmy contemplating whether him and Mike should run away with Lalo's money. The flashback showing Jimmy being a helpful brother to Chuck. So heartwarming. The the incredible character maps of Kim's lawfulness. To Nacho's character arc, all balancing incredible comic relief and cartel war brewing up. And sometimes the and sometimes the picturization is better than better. And sometimes the picturization is better. And sometimes the picturization is better than Breaking Bad. The show could have been made in the 2000s, but the show this show could have worked in the 2000s, but it needed that 2010s, 2020s cinematic aesthetic. So honestly, two really, really strong episodes for the series. So we're gonna say this episode is a tie. A tie. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next episode. Woo, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. That is a wrap. I don't think I referenced Kim and her post-it notes. Such great, memorable, everyday shots like Kim and her post-it notes. So yeah, I glossed over that some scenes can go on a bit too long, but we like it anyway. All right. Chicanery.